If you're an intermediate player, you should be able to run up and down the minor pentatonic scale with alternate picking. Let's take D minor pentatonic for this example. Down, up, down, up. And you should be able to do that in time and start really gaining some speed doing that. You also should have the D major pentatonic under your fingers. Putting your pinky on the root note here in the 10th fret of the E string is the D major. You really should be able to alternate pick both of those. It creates a lot of movement within the scale if you have that up and down motion. Most guitar players live to improvise. It's fun to take all your influences, everything you've learned, and just put it on the fretboard and have fun. Also going to add the blue note to both of these scales. Still try to keep that alternate picking in there. As I did in that jam, just looking at the major, and then go to the minor scale, back to the major scale, and go back and forth. There's other ways to do this, but this is a simple way to really add some flow to your playing. But this little groove is just with a D chord, C, G, back to D. And both of these scales work really well over that progression, and you can have a lot of fun and really start improvising your own solos and really just trying to find your own voice. And if this lesson is helpful, hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. Thanks so much for all your support. And stay with me, because later on in the video I'll break down some of those lick ideas I used in that little jam I just did. But right now, really looking at the structure of both of these scales, running up and down. Let's slow it down a little bit. See how you can run up and down the scales in time with that up and down. Really landing on that root note is important in learning this, knowing where that home base is. Really, that's really simple right there, but very powerful, because you're making some great sounds there in just staying in those couple boxes. If you're really just a beginner at this, it will take everything you have just to be able to play up and down in time. And as you get to the intermediate or even advanced level, you're going to pause and have little breaks in there to add small phrases and really just say something with the notes you play. can take a little piece of each scale box and just really run up and down it, go to the next one. You're going to find ways to seamlessly do this later on, but this is a great way to practice to get the major minor sound, but also to create movement to some of those notes. You don't necessarily have to target chord tones at this point. That goes to advanced, which is something you want to be able to do, but you should be able to run up and down the scale and improvise and make a great solo. So breaking down a few of these ideas, really looking at this root note in the major pentatonic, D major, root note in the 7th fret of the G string, I'm building off of that note, using the blue note. Doing that up and down motion, so important there. Also looking at the root note, full bend. You're bending to this F sharp note. So that would be the 9th fret of the G string, full bend. Then break these two strings in the 10th fret of the E and B strings. Hold it, bend a whole tone up. You can chicken pick it also. You're actually playing all the chord tones in a D chord doing that. All I know is it sounds good. But you can play off the root note and then run up or down the scale. Same thing in the minor pentatonic. Really focusing on the root note here, 10th fret of the D string. With that up and down motion, you can create licks like this. So you're just doing a slight bend here in the 13th fret of the E string, and then walk down those other two notes, or 3 notes would be a 4-note phrase. Do a little double stop there, barring in the 10th fret the G and B strings with your first finger, and then bend it slightly. Let me put some of these back in context. You can play phrases in each one of those scales. Really make sure you get back to home base, and as you get good at it, you'll be able to play that up and down motion even faster. I'll leave a link in the description for this backing track. It's a great backing track to practice with. Just practice those major minor ideas. Once you get them down in these positions here, you can expand this stuff all over the fretboard. And I really like to use the root note as a guide to create some of these lick ideas. D note here in the 15th fret of the B string. A note, 17th fret. Then bend the whole tone up in the 17th fret of the B string. Actually hitting all the notes in the D chord again. A, as you bend, it's an F sharp note. Then the D, all the notes in the D chord there. Another great thing is anywhere there's a D root note, you can play this little bluesy phrase. I had fun today showing you some of these improvising ideas. This will take you a long way right here. These two scales, adding the blue note, mixing them together slightly. This is some good stuff. This is going to take you into advanced level once you get good at this, I promise you. Have fun with it. Talk to you soon.